He's my doctor.
Oh, yeah.
He
So,
is the best.
one of the best doctors.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
like,
He's
the
a
research
godsend.
that they're doing too. For it
You
is
interviewed
just
Dr.
amazing.
Benson,
Yeah.
huh? Wow, I'll have to make sure he sees this then.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Dr. Benson, and I don't know if you know Sarita. Sarita's his,
No.
but yeah, Dr. Benson is, I mean, like I said, I went through, when I was in remission the first time, I went in there for 2 days and they put a needle on this arm and they take your stem cell out through a centrifuge.
Yeah.
And then when I had my bone marrow transplant, they used your own stem cell on that. So that was the first one. And then the second one I did was called, I was the second person at the James to do it. It was just 2 years ago called CAR T. They took my white blood cells out, sent them to laboratory. They modified them to become aggressors. They put them back in your body and they start fighting off the cancer cells. So I've had two different times I've been in the hospital, but Dr. Benson, there's not a better, I
No,
mean,
you were not lying. Like, there's not a better place to go.
yeah,
Like, if you're gonna get that diagnosis, I mean, Dr. Benson's like
Dr. Benson's the
the
bomb.
person to get.
You know, so I know because I mean, I go see him. Well, I go see him next week actually. But it's just been one thing after another. I mean, I've had these cysts, you know, fractured 3 of my ribs. That's what's happened to my knee. I've had them on my face, my head. I got a divot in the back of my head here from one of them. My shoulder. I've had that's radiation. Yeah, we just go and get it done.
Your attitude though about it is impressive. I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you
totally
see,
understand
you
why,
were
yeah.
asking me why you doing this interview with
Yeah.
Steve. Then I'm like, that's the
Yeah.
reason I cannot explain, but here's the reason.
I just don't think I think everyone would do that. You know, I think, and my wife's like, no, Mike, you know, not everyone would, you know, but I just think that I don't know. I mean, you know, like when I got West Nile, you know, and, you know, and I got to go back, I go next week because that's what's happened. I had one of those cysts on my esophagus. It paralyzed my vocal cord. And so I go next week to see surgery to push that over. And then Dr. Benson sent me to a guy because my blood counts just aren't coming up. It's been 3 years, just not coming up. So my blood is mutating. So I got to go see this doctor about my mutating blood cells. So I call him my teenage mutant doctor. So see why my blood is doing this and mutating. So I'll go see him. And it's just one thing after the other. But you can't hear again. I mean, you know, I get up in the mornings. Now that we're not on tape, right? I can say a lot of things.
You can say we're not putting it in.
I
so.
mean, I get up in the morning, and I do. Veronica and I went into body fit or body.
We needed to include it.
We went into what was that? Bodycraft, and we went in there, and I'm on crutches, and I'm like, you know, I need to find some exercise equipment because when I was growing up, I was big and I did bodybuilding, did powerlifting. I mean, I was bench pressing 450 at 45 years old.
Yeah.
You know, so I worked out at a place called Westside Barbell, which is a pretty unique place. But so we went in there and I'm like, I gotta do something, you know. So I can't do treadmill and so I found something I could do, the rower. I can't go all the way forward or I can set this leg down to a rower. So I bought a rower and a little combo weightlifting thing. And I bought that there. Every morning, you know, I get up 45 minutes on the rower, 800 calories on the rower, and then I'll do one-legged extensions. I don't have much movement, but I try to do one-legged extensions with this leg. And, you know, I'm up 6 o'clock, I'll do that, play a little bit. My wife will wake up about 8:30, I'll talk to her for a while. And I'm doing my basement. We built a big house, almost 4 years I've been in it now. Pretty big house. And
Yeah, I've been there.
yeah, it's a 5,300 square foot ranch.
Oh yeah.
And I've got a 5,000 square foot basement. And in my basement, I got 10-foot ceilings, egress windows, and all that. Well, I'm finishing off my basement. So I put down 3,200 square foot of flooring. My buddy's like, how the hell you do that? And see, I mean, I sit on my ass and I just slide. But I put down the flooring. I did all my trim. I hung all my doors. Right now I'm doing the tile in one of the bathrooms. And these are 24 by 48 sheets of tile. I'm picking up.
Yeah.
I can only go 3 high because I'm
You're
going
13 years into your. How long ago was your diagnosis?
13.
13 years.
Yeah, I've been on
You are
crutches over 3.
definitely- You are definitely exceeding every
Yeah.
expectation. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And that's what Dr. Benson's always said. I mean, you know, but I mean, Dr. Benson and everyone they attribute to my attitude. And,
Yeah.
but I don't think I think everyone would have that attitude. But there's a lot of people that I think just, they want to dwell on it. That's why I was very sheltered about it for years. I didn't tell people at work about it for years.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
You know, and she busted me out, and I thought, well, maybe it's time. But, you know, I'd lost, you know, I went from 240 pounds when I was lifting. You know, I was muscular, you know, and I went all the way down to 144. I'm at 160 now, and just that's where I stay. You know, and but I lost all my hair. You know, one of the times, I mean, the first transplant, that was the hardest thing with the first transplant. I had to eat ice. Every hour they would bring in, you have to eat ice constantly, because when they did the chemo, it was so abrasive that it would burn your throat and all that. So I remember having to eat ice every hour. That was tough. And they came in the next day and did that. Three nurses in there, you know, and they would put your own stem cells back into your body, you know, a long process.
Yeah.
But,
That's crazy. It was Matt's story. You know, that one for more. Well, used to be an organization, MMORE, more, and they would help connect people with resources who had multiple myeloma. But, well, thank you for bringing him in.
Thank you.
We're gonna do a nice little. Well, we'll record your intro, but I'll be able to turn around this edit, and you can then show it.
Yeah.
It's crazy that she asked me to do this. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, because Dr. Benson had asked me one time, hey, would you, and my wife's like, you don't want him, because he'll tell people how it is. You know, quit ball babying and quit feeling sorry for yourself, and quit wallowing in your pity and do something about it.
Yep.
I mean, but I'm not very compassionate. I mean, I wish I was, even to this day, I wish I had a little bit more compassion, but I just think everyone should man up. And
I'm with you a lot. That's what I tell my life partner. I go home and I'm always like, man, people just need to figure out, like, you just gotta man up and do it.
yeah, I've always said, if something in life bothers you, you have two choices: change it or accept it. If you're not willing to change it, like, well, I just can't quit my job, I got a car payment and all this, sell the damn car. If the job is making you that unhappy, that it's consuming your time and all that, it's not that important. I mean, I loved working. I mean, I loved working, you know, and being, you know, an inspiration and being able to work with. I loved it, you know, and I wouldn't have retired, or, yeah, they forced me to retire, but I guess, you know, but if something bothers you, change it or accept it. And if you're not willing to change it, then shut the hell up, because accept it and quit ball babying about it, because you're not willing to change it. You've made excuses of why I can't do it. I can't do it because I got a car payment. You know, I can't. You don't have to have a car payment. Sell the car. I can't do it because my mortgage is too high. Well, sell the house, get something lower. But if you're not willing to make the changes, then you've just accepted it. So quit ball babying about it. But,
Can I ask you a question of your curiosity, just from hearing your story? When Veronica asked you, like, what happens after you die, and I love that you're like, we're all gonna die. It's kind of part of the journey.
Yep.
Like, it's coming for all of us.
not the end.
I believe that wholeheartedly. So you said, what happens after I die? And you talked about, like, you know, if I've done my due diligence, like, you know, my family will be taken care of. What do you believe happens to you, like your soul? Like, have you made peace in that aspect?
Well, I think your soul will go to heaven. You'll be with all the people that, you know, you've lost throughout the life. I mean, you know, and I don't think that death is the end of the journey.
Yeah.
I think it's just the start of another journey.
How do you have that confidence?
It's just what I believe. I mean, I guess, you know, and one can say there's, you know, I don't go to church. I'm not a churchgoer, none of that stuff. I don't do that, and I don't think you need to. I think that maybe you do, I don't know. But it's just what I believe, you know, and I think there's an afterlife, you know, and that's what I want to believe. I want to think that, you know, when you separate this world, it's not the end, it's just the start of a new chapter. Yeah. And I guess that's just something that I believe. I don't, you know, again, I don't go to church and none of those things, but I believe that there is a heaven and a God, and that, you know, if you've done the right things here, you know, whatever it may be, that you'll be, you know, blessed enough to go there and enjoy that second life.
Can I give you a little bit of pushback on that? Just so
Absolutely.
I'm interested in hearing what you have to say about that.
Yeah.
So, God, when you say there is a God, you know, and if you've done the good things, like you might end up going to heaven. Who is this God that you believe in?
God and Jesus Christ. It's, through the biblical terms. And here again, I'm not a church goer. I'm not a Bible thumper or nothing like that. But, I do believe that there is, the creator of all mankind.
Yeah. Can I offer you one final thing?
You can offer me as many as you want, yeah.
Are we on camera?
No.
I don't think so.
No. Oh no, this is an interesting conversation. Why did you?
Oh, no, we're all good.
No, this is okay. Yeah. So, okay. So I will offer you with this one thing. So you say you believe Jesus Christ, the God of the Bible, right? So the God of the Bible says that there's nothing you can do, like no amount of good deed that you've ever done or you can do for anybody else will get you into heaven. That's not how you get in. How you get in is through the work and sacrifice of Jesus Christ, and what He did, not what you can do, but what He did. So it's like coming to that realization. It's almost like at the end of the road, like there's absolutely nothing you can do anymore, and then you just gotta like lean into Christ, and then just realize like nothing that I can do will get me into heaven.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, to me at least. And here again, I don't know the Bible, don't claim to, but I think that it is controlled about a murderer. If you haven't lived a good life, and done the right things, we'll know right from wrong. So I think, to me at least, and it's just my belief, doesn't mean it has to be anyone else's. I think what you do definitely does impact on what your afterlife looks like, and I think you just have to do the good things, and be honest and respectful and those things. And I think, maybe the Bible says something different, but that's fine. But that's my belief anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess I would just encourage you to just kind of like go read the Bible and see what it says
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Because like I agree with you, and like you should do good things, but the good things that you do are in response of the good things that He's done for you.
Okay.
And in response of like His saving grace.
Yeah.
Then you turn and you do those good things because of the good that He has done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you for answering my questions.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. No. It's a.
Yeah, I'll be praying for you. No, I know that you don't want anybody's pity, so I don't.
Right. Yeah.
For pittiness, but I feel like I found, as I've talked to several people at the end of their journey also, and the moral and spiritual conundrums become more and more evident as you're approaching that final, stage, that final.
I agree. You do see that a lot.
Yeah,
But for me, no, I don't. You don't want to just find religion on your deathbed. I mean, you want to be able to have found it long before that. And here again, I think that's, should be what your life is, based around. And I think you're doing the good things. But yeah, I don't want to be that guy that found religion on my deathbed.
Yeah.
We don't know when our deathbed is.
That's what I mean. It's like I don't want to wish that on anybody, especially you. So like, I guess my prayer would be like, hey, dig into this while you have time, while you can ponder and
Yeah.
consider. So thank you.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Good.
I love the story.
Yeah.
So good job asking the questions, Veronica. You did awesome.
Yes. No.
Yes. It's a different life now, being not having the structure of getting up every morning, going to work, and doing all that. But I get to do some of my passion. I love my cars. I'm a big car guy. And like working on the properties and doing those things. So, those things are fun. I won't travel anywhere big now because of crutches, but we still go. I mean, we went, Debbie, Kira, and I, my daughter, we hopped in the Escalade in October and went off for 7 days to the East Coast. Just look at the leaves turning and all that. So I want to try to go somewhere about every 3 months, just go somewhere and see something. But I don't want to go somewhere where it's a long flight or a layover, because it's more challenging on crutches, no doubt. But
Yeah, my wife and I and our kids, we started this a couple of years ago. We tried to stretch out the fall season. We love fall.
yeah,
So we would go north early in the season when upstate New York for a month where the leaves are changing.
yeah,
Hang out there, come back, enjoy the seasons in Ohio, and then go south, and then like make the most of the seasons just because we love fall. And I love when you were talking about your family just being able to work really hard, but also making time to make the time.
yeah.
To spend time together.
Yeah, and we still do that because it's about making the memories. I mean, but yeah, we went, well, in August, we've got a timeshare in Hilton Head, and we went down to Hilton Head with Kira and her friends. I mean, these 30-year-olds are going down to Hilton Head and hanging out with the old guys. We had a blast. We went down there in August, and then in October, we did the East Coast thing. So it's getting away, but
Old guys, I hang with this old guy all the time.
On our road trips, of course.
yeah, but you got to go. Have you been over to Europe yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Europe. No place,
Yeah, I have a wedding in Scotland again this year.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I'll be there again. I wasn't planning on traveling out of the country this year just because we did last year, but work's taking me, so I guess I'm going.
Yeah, my daughter, man, she goes all over the place now. But yeah, so many different stories of, the trips that we went. I remember we were in Mykonos, Greece on one of our trips, Debbie, Kira, and I. And we got off the ship, and we're walking through Mykonos, and I seen this Rolex store was here. Debbie and Kira was over at one of these shops, and I was looking in there, and Debbie comes out, and she said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "That watch." I said, "I haven't seen that Rolex in the States before." And she says, "Well, let's go and look at it." So we went in and looked at it, and I said, "Yeah, it's a nice watch, it's a nice watch and all that." And I said, "How much is it?" And he gave me a price, and I said, "Okay, well, let me think about it." So we left, and Debbie's like, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "I don't know." So we stopped, and we were eating there, drinking Mythos beers in Mykonos, drinking Mythos, and I'm pulling up the store, making sure it's an authentic store, getting a good warm and fuzzy about it, pulling it up in the States to see what they're selling for in the States and what that watch would cost in the States, yada, yada, yada. Get a comfort, okay, it's good. It's a Rolex authorized store. It's not a knockoff. I feel good about all that stuff. So I told Kira, and Kira was probably at that time, I don't know, however old. She was in her 20s, late 20s. I said, "All right, Kira, here's the deal. I want you to negotiate for me, So this is two things. One, he has to take American Express, because I ain't got that cash in my back pocket. Got to take American Express. That's the first thing, and this is the price I'll pay. You go negotiate. Let's see what you can do." So we go there, and she beats Teddy. She gets in there before we do. And when we was there initially, the sales guy was flirting with her because she's a pretty young girl. She goes in there. By the time I get in there, he's like, "Oh, man, I don't think we can do that. You need to get the owner." So the owner comes out, and, she's negotiating with the owner. And finally, I told the owner, I said, "Hey, you want this watch to sit in your shelf for the rest of the season because season's about over, or you want to get rid of it now?" So I ended up buying the Rolex there for the price that I wanted. But, it was, those are memories that you make, If you've been to Italy, if the Amalfi Coast, you definitely got to go to the Amalfi Coast and do the Path of the Gods. Unbelievable. I mean, if you haven't been there, pull it up, but it's unbelievable.
You've been to Italy, right?
I want to go. I have friends who went, and I was like, man, looks like one of the most beautiful places. It almost looks fake, right?
Yeah.
Right there on the coast.
Yeah, it was so fun. I mean, I got this lady on the internet, Christina from Private Villas of Italy. It was Saturday morning, like 5 o'clock. Gym didn't open till 7, so I'm looking for someone to book this. And I'm emailing her. She's like, "Wow, you up early on a Saturday morning?" I'm like, "No, that's all good." So she's like, "Well, give me a call." So I called her. I was late getting into the gym because I was talking to her in the parking lot. I come home, I tell my wife, I said, "Hey, I found a trip, we need to send this, here's this. I said, "We need to send this lady $10,000. And she's like, "Mike, we can't send someone $10,000. I said, "No, it's all good." So, hesitant as Debbie was, we sent the money off, but this lady, she set us up with so many things. She set us up, Sergio picked us up at the dock, took us to our place. We used him to drive us all around. She hooked us up with Mateo. Mateo had this 50-foot yacht. And he was showing us pictures. Hey, yeah, 2 months ago I had Kobe Bryant on it. Here's Beyonce was on it. I mean, it was bad to the bone. And we actually met our friends there. I mean, the yacht.
That's the bone. That's another good song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, we went out with Matteo, and he'd have, he had the Prosecco and all that, and we'd go out on this yacht and go through the grottos and look at that. Debbie and I and my best buddy Mike and his wife met us there. And we went out on that. So the next year when we went back, we went for a month. And we happened to Christina, we booked it through her again because we went different places. And when we was in Positano, I said, Christina, we're going to be in Positano. She set us up with the San Margarita, same place we stayed at before, right, looking out on the Mediterranean. I said, all right, you're going to be there, right, when we're there? She's like, yeah. I said, cool. Never met her, just talked to her on the phone. So we met her, and we had pizzas and all that. And I said, hey, I already Matteo rented the yacht for 2 days from now. You're going out with us. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you're going with us. She said, all right, well, what do I owe you? He said, you don't owe me nothing. I said, just meet us down there. We'll go have fun. So Debbie, Kira, Christine, and myself went out with Matteo. By lunch, we had drank 13 bottles of Prosecco. Now, the drinking was basically Debbie and Christine. Kira and I had a little bit, but Kira's a fish. She swam through high school and Otterbein and all that stuff. So her and I are swimming a lot. But we got ready for lunch, and Matteo was like, hey, that's where we're going for lunch. I said, cool. I said, how do we get there? He's like, swim. Kira and I'm like, okay. We hopped in the water, and we start swimming. And Debbie's like, I ain't swimming. And he's like, no, boat's coming for us. So the boat came and took Debbie and Matteo up there. Christina couldn't go. She was too drunk. And we went up there. And I said, Matteo, not even going to look at the menu. You order with me what you think we're going to like. And I knew. First thing came out was a big thing of peach sangria. I love peach. And, we're drinking peach sangria and eating the food. And Kira and I swam back. I mean, it's so fun. I mean, it's making those memories. But it was, if you haven't been yet, you need to go. I mean, and it's so easy to put these things off, because life has a lot of challenges, financially and all these things. But, you got to make it happen. I'm very blessed that we made it happen because I couldn't go over there and do those things that I did, before crutches. But, good Lord willing, I'll get back to that point. But, Positano, Italy is we've been to Alaska, Bermuda, Caribbean, Spain. Barcelona's way too busy for me. Greece, but Positano is my go-to,
Yeah, we're planning, my wife and I were planning, we have this other couple that we travel with,
Yeah.
we're really good friends with, so they've been to Italy before, so the plan is going to Italy in a couple of years. So no, next year. Next year is the plan to go to Italy. They want to take us to Lake Como because they have some friends that live around the
Yep.
area, so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kira, my daughter, she does travel agent too, but she went over to Italy by herself, a couple years ago. She was in Colombia one year. She went to Dubai. I mean, she's been, since she's moved out, in the last 4 years, that girl's went everywhere, loves to travel. We get the hooligan. She brings the 2 hooligan dogs over,
Beautiful dog.
Yeah, she's got I don't know if you guys are dog guys, but she's got a Zuri as a 4-year-old Newfoundland.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
And Coco is a 3-year-old Great Pyrenees.
Oh, dude, oh my God.
Yeah, they were just over there on the weekend, spent the night, but love those dogs are characters.
Yeah.
If you're a dog person.
Michael, do you mind taking a couple of pictures with me and Mike?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sitting down, standing up, what do you want?
Oh, just like you're talking.
Just
Okay.
we'll do some like this, and then he'll move. Yeah, he can grab a few others.
Yeah,